I decided to replace my Roku HD stick with a Roku 4K streaming stick. Let's find out what it has to offer and if it was worth the upgrade. If you already own a smart TV, it has streaming apps on it. The advantage of adding a Roku is that you get a lot more streaming apps to choose from, both paid and free. You also get the advantage of getting those in 4K where available. And if you don't have a smart TV, well, then you can use the Roku stick to give you streaming channels. A couple of caveats: this does not get you off the air programming, and you do need to have an internet connection to make this work. This particular model works using the Wi-Fi in your home. A reason to upgrade from the HD Roku to the 4K is speed, as the processor on this unit is faster and therefore your apps will launch quicker. Here's the stick. It has a reset button at the back end, a little connection port here for power because it does need to be powered. And then inside, have you heard? Let's get streaming. In the old days, they would have a CD-ROM in here. A starting guide. Here's the actual cord to get you power. So you plug that into a USB that is energized, and then you can power this stick. You have the remote that controls the stick, and you also have a little power cube that's included. And the reason for that is not everyone has an available energized USB port. Newer TVs do, but maybe you don't have a newer TV. So in that case, you could plug this into an outlet and it would run your stick. Besides the speed difference, you'll also see a difference in the remote controls. Here's the old one. The new one has a matte finish to it, where this was glossy, starting at the top. This has a power control, so you can actually switch your device on or off, actually the TV. This one didn't have that. It was kind of built into the software. Coming down, the OK button has been moved to the center of the arrow button. And then what used to be the OK button is now a microphone, so you can actually use voice control. And by the way, this is compatible with a couple of the talking assistants. They've reconfigured the presets. So now Netflix has moved up to a top tier, Disney, Apple TV, and Discovery Plus. We used to have Blockbuster and Amazon and MGO. Times have changed. On the side of the new remote, along with the beveled edge, you have volume up, volume down, and mute control. In removing the battery cover, we see that we've gone from 2 AA batteries to 2 AAA batteries. And yes, batteries are included. In addition to changing from AA to AAAs, it used to be plus negative, and now it's plus plus for the orientation of the batteries. Now let's go and install it and see what that installation process is like. We are here in front of our Samsung TV. You see that the remote is flashing. That means that it's ready for pairing. So all we have to do is take the Roku stick, plug in the power supply, and this is not a USB-C, so it only goes in one way. This is an HDMI port, so you plug it into an HDMI port that's free on your TV, and then you need to either use the power adapter that was included with it or use a USB power jack on your TV. Fortunately, I have one of those. With the connections made on the back, we power up the TV and we're ready to start. We tell it that English is our language of choice. And as you see, it's pairing with the remote. It's looking for a wireless network. I'm going to tell it to use that one. And now I have to type in the password. Once you give it your router password, you tell it to connect. And it's going to determine whether it's wireless or an internet connection. Because it's a stick, it can only be wireless. Update available, so we're going to tell it to OK. It'll do a restart after it loads in the newer software. And this is an update of possibly firmware and also new channels that are available since the stick was made. At 100%, it goes into a restart mode. So it's determining HD versus 4K versus 420 or standard def and widescreen. The TV was having some problems with the Roku, so basically I just disconnected the Roku stick and the power, reinserted it, established power, and now the screen came up and it says there's a problem setting the TV to a better picture quality. To change that, we're going to continue with 4K. Here we see what's available as far as functions with the remote. We can power off the TV and control the volume, and that is the recommended setup, or we can go into advanced setup and change that. We'll continue with recommended. And it knows the brand of my TV. Wants to know if music's playing. Yes, it is. I do not hear music now. So now we've successfully set up the remote control to control power and volume. Now we're advised to sign in, so you'll need a Roku account. If you have one, you just put in your email address. If you don't, then just follow the prompts after you enter your email address. After entering our email, we go down to continue. And now we need to check our email for a verification code that you can enter. On your phone, you'll get a chance to activate your device, agree to the terms, tell it what room it's located in, and then hit continue. It may then prompt you to give it some information so it can help select the proper channels for your device. Just follow the prompts. Once you've made your selections, you'll see that the channels will update on your screen. And I can tell you once again that this is a much faster process than it was with the HD stick. Once it completes, it'll say all done.
Let's get you streaming. Here's a quick tour of your new Roku player.
And it'll give you a quick tour of what it can do.
Press home at any time to return to the home screen.
Once the little demonstration completes, it takes you to the home page and it has loaded some stuff for you based on your decisions. And these can be immediately viewed or changed out. So if there's something here you don't like, so for example, I don't have a Peacock subscription. If you go onto your remote and there's an asterisk key right here next to the microphone, and if you press that, it'll load this info page, and then you can tell it to move the app if you want to rearrange it, move the app to the top, check for any updates to the app, or remove the app in its entirety. So I hit OK to remove it. It asks for another confirmation, remove, and it's gone. You could always reload it back in if you decide that you want to be part of Peacock. So even though I didn't ask for Paramount and Disney and Prime and Apple TV, because I don't subscribe to those, I will take those out. And again, it's the same procedure. To add a channel, you go home. You can either cursor down to Streaming Store, or from home you can cursor up to Streaming Store. And there you can see what's being featured. You can search for something, or you can take something that's recommended. So in our example, we'll take Peacock. You press enter. It gives you a brief description about what Peacock TV is all about. And then you can choose to add this app. You may have noticed that a fee may be required for Peacock. Once the channel has been added, you hit OK. Now you can go home. And if we go over to our selection, and I'm going to cursor up because Peacock's probably at the bottom, and there's Peacock. And that's the way that you can add the channels that you want to watch. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. Join the subscription team. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching.